Okay, hello and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub. And we are going to go through 4 study games today. But there's something important I want to share with the guys who are under 1200. Now, this is important because I always thought that they play a lot of tournaments, but they still are not using their time properly, or maybe they are not planning their moves correctly. So here is what I'm going to do. It's not official yet. I'm still working on it, but maybe from the third week of this month, maybe I'll make the formal announcement later, but it can happen that maybe from the third week of this month, listen to this very carefully, the guys, all those guys who are under 1200, listen to me very carefully, only the guys who are under 1200 will get a chance to play with me every Sunday evening. So if you know, on Tuesdays I play with the seniors, is it not? Every Tuesday. So Sunday evening time will be allotted for the guys who are not exactly B batch, but whose rating is under 1200. So I will play with you. You cannot challenge me because the rating will be very low. I will put a challenge to you. It will be casual, 3+0. But then during the game, we could learn so much. So it will be a live stream. And then the feedback can be really one-on-one. So remember this, Sunday evening. I'm still working on how we can do it, what is the timing and so on and so forth. But tentatively, this is the plan. So I hope that under 1200 guys will appreciate that. So Rupak, you were wanting to play a game with me. I think this is how we are going to go ahead and do it. One more thing. Oh, thanks, Vihang, thanks. Man, all the PPE kit. Yeah, all the PPE kit and the sanitizers, and finally you manage a haircut. Yes, I am happy. Anyway, I will think about it. Jay is saying that make it under 1400. I will think about it, Jay, whether to keep it under 1200 or under 1400. I will think about it. Not yet final, but this is what I'm thinking of doing on Sunday evening, and that too not on all Sundays. Every alternate Sunday at least. Okay, so that I can tell you exactly in real time where you're going wrong. Okay, because in the tournaments the seniors gave me the feedback like you have 4 minutes spare, some people have more than 5 minutes remaining when they lose the game. So that's not acceptable, that's not really a great thing. So we will go ahead and finalize something on Sunday. So Mitra, I hope that you are happy, you wanted something for them, and here it is. Meanwhile, Omkar sir is playing tomorrow. So Soumitra, please create the stream ASAP, and after the lecture post it. I'll have to forward the message to Omkar sir as well. Okay. And now let's get started. Today you don't need the notepad, because last time whenever I've noticed, whenever we go ahead and write the game, it takes a lot of time. We were able to do only 3 games. Today I intend to complete 4 games no matter what in the next hour. Yes, if there is some time at our disposal, I will go ahead and take challenges. Okay. Today's challenges, mind you, are not for the under 1200. I told you that I'll reserve a day for them. Let's get started, guys, if you are ready. And by the way, hello to Ayush, our little champion. So Ayush, let me start with a question. Let me start with a good question here. Ayush, if you are here, I think I saw a hello sir from you. Welcome, Akanksh. Ayush, if you are here, my first question to you, and this question is only for Ayush, so nobody else should answer. This is only for our dear kid Ayush Tavde. Okay, Ayush, my question to you is, I'm sure you watched the videos that I suggested. So my question is, during castling, which piece do you touch first? During castling, which piece do you touch first? So please let me know. Ayush only should answer this question. So Ayush, if you can type the answer, it will be wonderful. During castling, which piece should be touched first? And meanwhile, Soumitra is saying that 3+2 challenges are better than 3+0. Okay, we'll consider that as well. No problem. But this is subject to availability of time, Soumitra. Okay, subject to availability of time. 3+2 or 3+0 or 2+0. We'll see. We have got 4 games to do. Yes, Ayusha said king and rook. Okay, king and rook are both to be touched. But my question is, Will you touch the king first or will you touch the rook first? Let me know. Hello Reyansh. Reyansh has also joined us. So Ayush, very good answer. King and rook. Yes, correct. But should you touch the king first or should you touch the rook first? That's important. Yes, both the pieces are involved. King and rook are involved. But which piece gets touched first? Let me know that. Reyansh, you're welcome. And who is this fellow who doesn't understand my instructions? It must be Akanksha, the student who doesn't understand things that sir says. Well, he first of all, he joins late and then he doesn't know what's happening. Yeah, Ayush is right. And thank you, Akanksh, for spoiling the fun. So king is the right answer. People, you might tell Akanksh what's happening. He doesn't have to type it there. But Ayush has answered correctly. King should be touched first. Do not touch the rook first. Otherwise, the opponent will claim that you moved the rook and the move is over. I will ask you such interesting questions during our study games. And Akanksh, you should let him answer that. Okay, let's get started. Today, ready with the game. And the first game, it's from the white perspective. E4, E5, knight F3, bishop C4. Quickly in the chat, you can type, what is this opening? Game 1, guys, game 1. So this one is E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4. Meanwhile, Saumitra's made it clear that he has actually posted a message on our WhatsApp group regarding the tournament tomorrow. So what's the name of this opening, guys? It is the Italian game indeed. There's no doubt about that. Wonderful. Okay, so what happens in this game after this situation? It is not Spanish, it is Italian, guys. Black played knight to f6, and you all know that if you want to play the fried lever attack, you will definitely play knight g5, attacking the weak f7 pawn. However, there are few other good moves here. There's castling that you can do. There is knight g5 as discussed, and there is d4, which is called the center break. So people are saying that it's their favorite opening. Well, that's wonderful. I like that. If it's your favorite opening, let me bring myself also in the frame. I'm not there with you right now, and there I am. Okay, so the three moves suggested are all good for white in this position. Let us find out what was actually played in the game. D4, the center break. Pawns were not immediately exchanged. So look at this. After d4, black took, but white did not immediately take with the knight. Of course, you don't take with the queen because there's knight. So white did not make the exchange immediately. What white did was he castled. Black took the pawn on e4 and white played rook e1. Now this is a good learning experience probably for let me teach Ayush something. Ayush, let me tell you something. This particular move, when white played his rook to e1, actually pins the knight. Look at what I have drawn here. When white played that move rook e1, the knight now has gotten itself pinned. So the rook has pinned the knight to the king. So the knight cannot move. Now Ayush, if you are listening to this, this is nice. So whenever a piece in chess cannot move, whenever a piece in chess cannot move, it's said to be pinned. Now there are two kinds of pin, relative pin and absolute pin. Whenever the piece, like in this case, let's go back to the board. Whenever, as in this case, you see here, the piece is pinned to the king, you call it the absolute pin. What do you mean by absolute pin? That this knight that I have highlighted here, the black knight, cannot simply move. And why can the knight simply move? Is because the king will be put under check. The king will king can be captured, and actually that's not allowed. So this is called the absolute pin. You should remember this. Okay. Now what happened was black can definitely protect the knight. He cannot move the knight. I repeat, he cannot move the knight, but he can certainly protect it, right? So d5 was played. So idea of d5 is to protect the knight and also attack the bishop on c4. This was played by black. Guys, whenever I'm explaining, don't be in a mood to just copy everything down very fast. Don't be hasty. Don't just be interested in copying down the moves. Pay attention at the game. As usual, I'll give you thinking time when I think that we have reached that right moment where I want you to calculate something. So for that, be involved in the game. Don't just be busy writing down something. I will give you probably not extra time today. You will have to revisit this video and write it later. But don't write right now. Something like that. All right then. Welcome, Namish Dhake. Welcome. No, the opening looks similar, but we have not done this. So hang on. Samitra actually is suspicious whether we have done this or not. No, we have done a game in this opening, but this is not what we have played. So bishop took the pawn. So far it's going on the same lines as the last game we saw. Now you would wonder, why did white just do that? White just took the pawn and gave his bishop. So here is a very interesting idea why. And it is not a mistake. This position is still pretty much equal here. And now white played knight c3, still similar to the game we once saw. There was one game that we saw, and in this particular opening. Now the point of this move, as highlighted even the last time, is that you cannot take this knight. Now this is an example of a relative pin, not absolute pin, relative pin. Because then what will happen is that our queen will capture black's queen for free. I repeat, we will get black's queen for free. And that is exactly the reason why you cannot just take the knight on c3 with the pawn. Because our queen will get the black queen. You cannot do that. So this is an example of a relative pin. Well, the pawn can take the knight, but at the risk of losing the queen. When we saw the absolute pin earlier, it is simply not possible to move the knight at that stage because it's pinned to the king. That's why you call it absolute pin, and this is an example of a relative pin. So what did black do? Sit there and cry? No. Black played queen f5, and definitely white is now going to get the piece back. I think this is where it becomes different now compared to the last game we saw in this opening. Now you will see that the game has become different. So white has got the piece back, but you should now look at the danger here. The rook and the king nicely lined up. White has definitely got the piece back. So the knight will move, and it can move anywhere it wants because it will be a check. So have we reached that point where I want to give you the time, thinking time? Well, not yet. Now black played bishop e6. Now that's a very good move, bishop e6. It's a multi-purpose move. First of all, black took care that no discovered check hits him. And also by moving the bishop to e6, now there is a prospect of black castling on the queen side. I repeat, what happened by bishop e6 was, now there is no threat of a discovered check, and black can castle on the queen side. So bishop e6 actually is a good move. Now white played knight takes d4, also recapturing the pawn. Remember that this pawn on d4 was as a result of black playing e takes b4. So white had to recapture that. Now what is a threat? Always watch opponent's last move. Never just focus on what you want to do. What has white played? Knight takes d4 and now is attacking the queen. So important, guys. So important that you Remember to watch the opponent's last move. Under 1200, under 1400, watch this. In haste, do not play something that you always thought you would play. Judge every move on the merit. White has just captured on d4 and the queen is threatened. You should be aware and mindful of such things. So black took the knight and white recaptured. By the way, now a quick understanding for Ayush. Ayush, only for you. This question is only for Ayush. Let me come on the cam for that. So Akanksha, if you're listening, this question is not for you. This question is only for Ayush Tavde. Nobody else will answer. Ayush, now my question to you is again related to castling. It is black to play here. So let me take you to the board again. Ayush, my question to you is, it's black to play here. Can black castle? Can black castle in this position? Let me know. Ayush, this question is for you. You can type in the chat. Can black castle here? Durgesh Yadav. Durgesh Yadav. Who is Durgesh Yadav? Our new viewer? If so, welcome. And Ayush has given the correct answer. I'm so happy, Ayush. I am so happy. That's a correct answer, Ayush. Brilliant. Very good. That means you have studied the videos very, very well. Black cannot castle. Absolutely. Guys, everyone, you can praise Ayush. Ayush is the youngest student with us right now. So Ayush, wonderful. Perfect answer. Everybody, you can praise Ayush for his answer. His answer is correct. No, that black cannot castle in this position at the moment. Wonderfully well done. Now let's see why. Ayush, your answer is correct because if black goes ahead and castles, the king will have to pass through this d8 square, which actually is under control of the white queen. And that is the reason why, even if black wants to, black cannot castle in this position, because king will have to then pass through that d8 square, and it is white who controls that d8 square with his queen. So absolutely correct answer, and I am very happy with you, Ayush. Hey, you got a lot of claps, Ayush. Brilliant indeed. Let's proceed. Okay, so black did not castle then. What did black play? h6 was played, and the idea of that is probably wanted to stop some ideas with knight g5 attacking the bishop, which is already pinned. So black did not want that. Now white played the move b3. The idea could be the fianchetto or something like that. Could be, I'm saying. Or maybe bishop a3. One of the two other target squares. So let's see. Okay, Durgesh Yadav is actually Avdut. So Avdut, thank you for joining us, man. I hope from this ID as well, you know our channel remains the same. So it doesn't matter, your IDs can change, but you're with Vaidya's Chess Hub is a good idea. Anyway, so now let us see what happened in the game, guys. It's black's turn, and black played a6. Black could have tried rook d8, by the way. Now bishop b2 was played. So not bishop a3, but bishop b2. a5. I don't like this move. Black is just wasting time here. I think if he wanted to play a5, he should have played a5 first up. But I think he was just waiting for this bishop to be committed on b2. Rook a d1 was played. Rook a d1. Why do I say rook a d1? Because both the rooks can come on this d1 square. It is the rook that was on the a file that came on d1. So rook a d1. Rook a d1 was played. And black played f6. Black played f6. And now it is here that I think would be the right time for me to give you some thinking time. About 3 minutes should be enough. But calculate as much as you can. Guys, I repeat, you should calculate as much as you can in these 3 minutes. the variations as well. Let me know if you want 4 minutes instead of 3. Okay, let me know. So I'm still waiting for your confirmation in the chat. Looks similar, but my database doesn't agree. 4 minutes. Okay, then 4 minutes it is. No problem. 4 minutes. But go ahead and type the entire line. And those who think that we have done this, I will say again that my database shows this as a different game. What happens is I have a big database of like almost 100,000 games, and this one is a different game, not the same one. We have it's a slight difference between what we did earlier, I suppose. And anyway, I want you to write down the entire variation, not just one line that you think. All the possible options is what you should do. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. 4 minutes of thinking time, and all the variations is what I will look forward to. So why to play here? Last few seconds remaining. Soumitra says I missed one move by black, so he also now thinks that it is mate in 5 and not 4. So Jay, do you want to change sides? Because Jay said it's mate in 4, you agree totally with Soumitra. But I suppose now that the time is up, I'll tell you that it is not mate in 4. Even Chinmay has gone wrong with it. Vihang has made the precise calculation with a few other guys. It's made in 5, not made in 4. It is made in 5. That is why I tell you, think about the precise moves, not about what you think. Look at all possible squares. There is a reason why I'm saying that. From the next game onwards, you're going to need all of that. And I told you the last 2 games are King's Gambit. So you need all that thinking power with you. And Nachiket, welcome. You are welcome. Are you having holidays for classes today, Nachiket? Let me know. You're welcome. So it is definitely mate in 5. Let me execute that on the board for you guys. So let's see what happens here. It's queen d7 first, and there is no other thing for black to do but to take the queen with the bishop. There's no other move. The king cannot take the queen just because it's protected by the rook, but the bishop can, and that's a forced move. So bishop takes queen, that's bishop takes d7. Then you have knight d6 check, and after this you have got 2 variations. Well, did Vihang type both the variations? No, there are not 2 moves here. There's just 1 move here because it's a double check. Because it's a double check. It's a check by knight and the rook. So yeah, so then you have king to d7. Then after that you have knight f7 check. This is beautiful. The king c8 move is played, and now I like the finish here. I 100% like the way it's finished. Okay, Nachiket is saying the test series is going on, so finish the test and now I'm here. Hey, welcome Nachiket. I hope the test went fine and that you will score good marks. Was it English, by the way? Let me know, Nachiket. Was it the English test today? Okay, back to our game. So now it is here that the game will be finished in a very nice manner. So the way that white finished black is rook e8 check. There's nothing to do but to take the rook, and then finally coup de grace, the final blow, rook d8 checkmate. It does look wonderful when you make a mockery of this queen standing here on f5. Well, it's really amazing. You should see the final sequence here. The final sequence is amazing. This rook check is wonderful. Just observe this move, guys. This rook check, simply amazing. This rook check. There is nothing else to do but to take it. It's sort of a clearance, and then finally our rook gets the destination, and the black queen really is on the board, but it's checkmate. Very quickly we will go on to the next one. Well, by the way, no need to make a note of this. I've told you, you need to visit this later. The second one is also from the white perspective. Let me know what this opening is. By the way, there is a reason why I'm teaching you this game from the white side. Now, this is important, okay? The reason why I'm showing you an Alakine defense game from the white side, not from the black side, is because if we as Alakine players, if we play this and then if we are greedy, well, then white can certainly punish us. This is why I'm showing you this game with the Alakine defense, but from the white perspective, not the black perspective. So please remember this, okay? And this is pretty normal. And now this bishop c4. This is the most aggressive you can be against the Alakine defense, because what this bishop does is that it just attacks f7 quickly. Not that black is losing right now, but yeah, that's one of the things he can do. Knight to b6, the bishop sacrifices immediately. That is definitely good for black, but black has to be very careful how he plays here. So as Alakine defense player, if you're not very careful, you lose from here. There's so many Alakine players who fall for this trap, okay? Now there is knight g5 check, king g6. By the way, king g6 is extremely bad. The only correct way to play after this bishop sacrifice is to shelter the king on g8. That is the only way black can sustain here. So king g6 is not great. By playing a move like by playing a move like king g6, if you play king g6, black will justify white's sacrifice of bishop on f7. I repeat what I said. If the black king comes on g6 after knight g5 check, black will actually justify white's sacrifice of the bishop. Should have gone to g8 there. Okay, check this line on leeches later. Now the idea of queen f3 is so powerful. The idea of queen f3 is so powerful. Let's say, let's give black some move like a6, not played in the game. I'm just giving you a6. And let's say black is careless and black is just playing a6 here. It is here that I will start your 4 minutes so that you can calculate what happens. It's white to play here. You are going to get 4 minutes of time. What happens here? Tell me. 4 minutes of thinking time, white to play here. What happens if black is just careless, plays a6? Seniors, try to impress me with your calculation this time. Jay is saying mate in 3, which is embarrassing. Mate with a pawn. Well, that is not correct. It is not mate in 3 here. It cannot be mate in 3. Also not mate in 2. So Kalyani, you can try again. Rajbhai, what have you typed? It's mate in 3 according to you as well. It's not mate in 3. What's up? It's not mate in 3, guys. Think again. You have got another half a minute. It's not mate in 3. Even if I play queen f7 check first, it is not mate in 3. You are assuming that after queen f7 check, king will take the knight. What if king doesn't take the knight? The king may also go to h6. Is that not possible? The king can go to h6, guys. The king can go to h6. You're assuming after queen f7, king takes g5 will be played. And now I will look forward to answers by Soumitra, Vihang. Come on. Time is up. So it is not mate in 3 moves. It is not mate in 3. After queen f7 check, king h6 is also possible. Well, nobody thought of that. You just start like queen f7 check, the king will take the knight. It is not forced. It is not forced. Queen f7 check, king h6. Then what do you do? That's why I always say, think properly. It's not just cut, copy, paste. Now Soumitra is saying queen f7 check, king h6, d4 something. Okay. Don't have to go d4. d3 will also do. But now I'm going to tell you what is the answer precisely. The answer here precisely that from this position, it will be mate in 5. That's what is calculation. Mate in 5 from this position. Why will black play something that is good for us? So after queen f7 check, black won't take the knight. If he takes the knight, then yes, what you're saying makes sense. But he will play king h6. And then you have to calculate what happens. That's why I conceded 4 minutes of thinking time. Watch this, guys. So after, let's say if black plays h6. By the way, black did not in the game play h6. In the game, actually, king takes g5 was played. I was talking about black getting greedy, is it not? So that's what happened in the game. But we are assuming that, let's say, black is a little careless in this position and doesn't take the knight right away. Then you have queen f7 check. Watch this. And not king takes g5 because that will be a quick checkmate. So king h6 is played. And now d3. The idea is just to get this bishop in the game, the open diagonal. And now it doesn't matter what black plays. It doesn't matter what black plays. It's difficult even to give a good move for black. Well, let's say black plays something like g7 or g6, sorry. So now it is very simple finish. Whatever happens, knight e6, it's a check by the bishop from this c1 square. The only move here is king h5. Then there is queen f3 check. There's king h4. And now there are lots of mate possible. There's queen f4 mate. I think it's a bishop g5 mate as well. Then there is queen h3 mate as well. I like that. Queen h3 mate is also good. This square is taken. So this is why you should calculate completely. But anyway, back to the game now. As I have told you, after queen f3, black did not play a6. Black was greedy. That's why I'm showing you this. So if we play the Alekhine defense a lot, you guys know that. Never take the, first of all, don't play king g6, play king g8. And now don't be greedy and take that knight there. It's a free knight. Observe the last move. Black is thinking, hey, I can gobble this knight. It's a free knight for me. Let me do that. And now it is from here. I will just give you one move. This is for seniors. After this, I'll give you the next move, which is very important. Queen f7 is a very important move, regardless of whether black played a6 or king takes g5. Queen f7 is just brilliant. Black played the move I suggested earlier, g6. And the next move is d4, which was a discovered check. Now, this is a learning experience for Ayush. So, Ayush, listen to this. Ayush Tavde, listen to this. Look at this bishop, Ayush. Now, you know how the pieces move, is it not? The bishop actually can give the check to this king if this pawn moves. So, what happened in this game was the pawn moved to d4 square. And then the bishop started giving the check to the black king. And such a check is called a discovered check. So Ayush, if you are listening, this is called a discovered check. So the pawn moved, but the pawn is not giving the check. The check is being delivered by the bishop on c1. Well, such a check is called a discovered check. Please remember that. That's what happened. Then king h5 was played. And now you have a simple finish. Queen f4 threatening mate on g5. The only way to stop it is h6. And what do you do now? I think now h3 looks good. g5. Nothing is going to work like that. And now mate in 2 from here. Now I am going to give you only 2 minutes for this, guys. Only 2 minutes, not 4 minutes. From this position, it is white to play and mate in 2 moves. Find it. Mate in 2 moves. Mate in two, guys. Mate in two. Well, Vihang, I did take a look at your answer last time. There are a lot of comments. I cannot comment on all. So I beg your pardon, but I did see your comment here. It was a good work, Vihang. I definitely saw your reply, and that was correct. That was brilliant. Avnish, think again. Avnish said something. I don't think that is 100% correct. Avnish, G4, King G6, Queen F7 is not made. Queen is hanging on F7 there. Avnish, my dear Spidey, think again. That's not fair, man. And yes, the time is almost going to be over. The thinking time is almost done. Well, and now, yes, this time there's Queen F7 check. Then there is King H4. An embarrassing mate, G3. Spidey, your answer was horrible. You said G4 check, then King to G6 and Queen F7 checkmate. King will just take the Queen. On F7, she has no support. So Queen F7 check comes first, Avnish. Then King H4 and G3 is just checkmate. So this is just brilliant. Okay, time to go to our next one. Well done, all of you, those who calculated it correctly. Time to go to our third game. It's very important that you study this game properly, because here is why I say this is important. The game number 3 and game number 4 are very important, because I told you already that both are going to be King's Gambit. And I think that this is the very first time that we are going to study the King's Gambit game. Correct me if I'm wrong. The King's Gambit. Maybe the second time, once from the black side we saw it. So, the reason why number 3 and number 4 is important here, the games, because the first one is from the white's perspective of how dangerous it is, and next one from the black side to show you how you can tackle it as black if white tries this King's Gambit against you. I repeat, game number 3 is from the white's perspective, the King's Gambit, and the fourth game is going to be King's Gambit from the black's perspective, to tell you how you should, as a black, handle the King's Gambit. It's a very, very dangerous opening if you don't handle it with care. What is the name? King's Gambit. It's a sacrifice of pawn on the F4 square. Okay? On the F4 square. Okay? Before that, a question for Ayush. Not for anybody else, only for Ayush. Now, Ayush, what I want you to do, dear, just go ahead and type what are ranks and files in the chat. Just go ahead and do that. Ayush, what are ranks and what are files? I'm sure you've seen that video on ranks and files. Only Ayush will type this. This question is not for anybody else. Ayush, go ahead and type it. What are ranks and what are files? Just do that. Yes, and Saumitra is right. We have done one game in the Falkbeer counter gambit. Yes, we have done that once. So let's see. Now we are going to take a look at game number 3. Ayush, you can meanwhile go ahead and type it. The others, let's get started with this game. So E4, E5, and the King's Gambit is with the move F4. It's a very deadly move. Black took. The immediate move here is knight to F3, which is immensely popular. Also popular, by the way, is the move bishop to C4. But then you allow this queen H4 check. So knight F3 is more popular. Black immediately decides to attack the king's side because of the weak open diagonal. White plays H4. and black continues with g4. Look how aggressive this is, and white is going to win here. This is okay, and this is the main line. So knight g5 was played, very aggressive indeed. d6 by black. Why did black play d6, by the way? The queen is attacking this g4 pawn, guys. Watch this. And so by playing this move to d6, black has just started protecting this pawn from the c8 bishop. Always watch such things. So d6, bishop c4. Immediately there is a lot of pressure on this f7. Watch this game. This is so interesting. We have not yet reached the point where I will give you the thinking time. Bishop c4 is immediately attacking. Now Ayush, have you typed the answer? Did Ayush type the answer? Guys, help me. Has Ayush typed the answer? I don't quite get it in the chat. Ayush, you can type the answer in the chat. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about the game in continuation. Just type it. Okay. On chessboard, we have the answer now. Every column is file and every row is rank. Well, that is precise. That is very good. So, basically, just remember, Ayush, brilliant indeed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are the ranks. That is the numbers. And then you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H are the files. But then correct answer. This is brilliant. Guys, you can clap for Ayush. Brilliant answer indeed. Absolutely brilliant. So these are ranks and files. And now back to the game. Okay, back to the game. Good answer, Ayush. I'm very impressed with this. You have said that on chessboard every column is file and every row is rank. Brilliant, Ayush. That is very, very well done. Absolutely brilliant. So you're a good student, Ayush. I must say. Very good. Back to the game. So now I was telling you about this pressure on this f7 pawn. What happens here? Well, black played knight to h6. So that means that black is also defending it twice and white is attacking it twice. Black is defending twice, white is attacking it twice. That's okay. Castling by white. Look at the look at the board here. Castling with only the g2 pawn there. But because of castling now, white's attacking this weak f4 pawn and putting more pressure eventually on the f7 pawn. So this is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Yes, we all have these sanitized claps nowadays. Everyone is giving sanitized claps. Well, by the way, Vihang said that knight g5 is a blunder. After white plays knight g6, it's not a blunder. You can type this or rather check this on Lichess, Vihang. What happens is white plays knight g6 with the intention that if black plays h6, actually white is going to sacrifice. I'll show you the line very quickly here, Vihang. This is only for you, Vihang. Knight takes f7 is a fork. So there is no doubt about this that it has to be taken. So after king takes f7, you have bishop c4 check. And then if there is king e8, then there is queen takes g4. So that's a piece for 2 pawns where you will get this back and black has lost castle rights. So Vihang will probably agree with me that that piece sacrifice is a very good sacrifice. Vihang, don't think that h6 traps the knight. h6 does not trap that knight. That knight will sacrifice itself on f7. I think Vihang has understood the point. Do this on Lichess. It's a very, very aggressive opening king's gambit. Very, very important. Just remember that knight doesn't get trapped after this g6 move. Vihang should make a note of that. So knight g5 is not a blunder. If black, after knight g5, if black tries the move h6, then knight takes f7, king takes f7, bishop c4 check, and this g4 pawn is hanging. Remember that. Anyway, in the game what happened is d6, bishop c4, Knight h6, castling by white, and now bishop e7. White played d4. We are now getting to the point where there could be something dangerous. Black continued the pawn storm. I'm sure Soumitra will like this. Look at this position. Black is almost on, the 6th rank. So now g takes f3. Absolutely beautiful. Knight c6. The king is open on g1, by the way. Black should be happy. It's just that pawn was given back. Mind you, there was king's gambit played. White played the move f takes g4. Knight takes g4. Mind you, the knight is protected by the bishop. Queen cannot take it. And now it is here that I want you to calculate the best possible continuation. Where are you saying f6? Soumitra, are you saying that after knight g5, what if he plays f6? Soumitra, type in the chat. After this move, knight g5, are you here suggesting f6? If yes, I'll show you the line. Let me know in the chat if that's what you want. In this position, are you talking about this f6 thing? I'll wait for your answer, by the way. Then only will I continue. I'll address that doubt. Were you thinking about f6? Yes. Okay. So then in that case, I'll show you what happens. If black plays f6 in this position, we saw that after knight g5, h6 doesn't work. Well, if f6 is played, then queen takes g4, and then if f takes g5 happens, this queen h5 check. Force move is king e7, queen takes g5 check. Of course, if king goes back, then again there is queen h5 check. King e7 this time doesn't work because now there is queen e5 check. King f7 forced, and bishop c4, and well, everything is going for a toss here. Everything. Black is completely losing here. Completely. So I hope Samartha and Soumitra got the answer. Okay, one more thing. After this check, black can protect with the knight as well, is it not? Block the check. But in this position, e5 simply wins back the piece, and this is horrible. So I have no doubt that you have enjoyed this line. King's Gambit, there is so much to study. There is so much to study. Let me show you that line again. The thing about this is that after what? After f6, which was your doubt, queen takes g4, give the piece, but then after this check, after queen takes, well, black has not just lost castle rights, but his position is lost. Overall, my assessment is after knight g5 check, either of the moves, h6 or f6 doesn't work. So this is, I'm using the annotation in the game. I'm using the annotation in the game, by the way. So those who are wondering how come I have this quick calculation, whenever I have this game loaded in my database, the games are annotated. I hope you know the meaning of annotated. I mean that they give the variations as well. So these variations are there with me. That's how I know. So this game is in an annotated form with me. Somebody type the spelling of annotated with the meaning. Seniors, can you do that? I have these games annotated, so I know of the variations that I have in front of me. Okay, anyway, so I hope that after this you're very clear with what happened. Anyway, we were on, yeah, this is the point where we stopped. So bishop takes f7 is the move. Now king d7 is mate in 1, by the way. Again, going back to the annotations. King d7 is simply mate in 1 move. I am sure you calculated that. Queen takes g4 is a checkmate. That's not possible. So king f8 is forced. Queen takes g4 is a brilliant sacrifice. Bishop takes g4. Why did white sacrifice his queen here? White to play. You get only 2 moves, 2 minutes to calculate after this. 2 minutes. White to play from this position. Calculate it. Only two moves over here, guys. Mate in two. And you have 2 minutes to think. White to play. Good try by Sahil. Sahil, very good. He was thinking bishop e6 is a discovered check. Yes, it will be a discovered check. But of course, the question is it the best move? But good word you use, Sahil Prajapati. That's nice. Bishop e6 will be a discovered check. Well, Nachiket also likes bishop e6. Okay. Vedant, absolutely good. Bunch of lions is right with the meaning of annotated. Soumitra also did it very well. Jay has even told us what is the mating pattern. It's Borden's mate, he thinks. You'll agree with that? It's Borden's mate. Now Nachiket has changed. Now Nachiket is saying it's knight e6. Time is up. Okay, so the correct move is what people suggested. Knight e6. Look at the fork. Knight e6 is just a deadly fork. But hey, we don't even want the queen here. The force move is bishop takes. Is it forced? Yes. Bishop takes e6. Mind you, the king g7 move is not possible. Some people might think there's knight there. Is it not? So that move is definitely not possible. So bishop takes. And there is bishop h6. So do you agree that this is Borden's mate? As Jay had suggested. King's Gambit is sort of a risky opening, but when you want a result, go for that. So Soumitra, I won't mind if you try King's Gambit, practice it, go through lines on Lichess first, and then practice it in some tournaments. Try to catch players unawares. Well, you can do that. And Vihang and Soumitra, let me know if it worked for you. Even Nijapkar, if you like King's Gambit, well, do that. We love the Danish Gambit anyway. So instead of sacrificing on d4, you can make the sacrifice on f4. Okay, so that was a brilliant game. I'm sure you loved it. A nice calculation on everybody's part. Brilliant indeed. Soumitra, however, disagrees that this is not Borden's mate. And then it will probably be answered by Omkar sir in his next lecture, because I'm sure he will cover Borden's mate now. Anyway, Namish, after the check, black can play d5. It's a knight check. How can black stop the check? After knight e6 check, everything is forced, Namish. Everything is forced. Which move are you talking about? I think Namish was talking all the way. I think I got the point. I think he was talking about the move where it was h6. Over here, I think Namish, over here you were saying that it can be blocked with d5. But the point is that it is attacked twice and defended once. So I guess now I think Namish have answered your question. If d5 is used to block the check, well, it's attacked twice and defended once. So it doesn't really work. Bishop will go ahead and take on d5 anyway. You can check this out. It's definitely not so great. It's still playable. Anyway, it's a gambit. So there is definitely a risk white took with knight g5. But still this is playable. Black has to be very careful. Okay, I hope that I have answered your doubt. Let's go to the final game for today. And by the way, it's from the black perspective. And of course, it is going to be from the Falkbeer counter gambit, because that's the best way, in my opinion, to handle the king's gambit. So e4, e5, f4 and d5. White will take on d5, which is the main line. And then you don't take on f4, but you push the pawn e4. The idea is to just stop the knight from coming to f3. That's the logic. Knight to c3, attacking the pawn. Knight to f6. Queen e2. Bishop d6, attacking that f4 pawn. d3, attacking that e4 pawn one more time. Look at the attack on the e4 pawn, with the queen, with the knight, protected only by the knight. Overwhelming attack here. Black castled, white took the pawn back. Knight took it. Well, white took with the knight. What's up? Why the piece sacrifice? Rook e8. So Ayush, if you're listening for the second time now, you have this pin, but this pin is a relative pin because it's pinned to the queen. This is a relative pin. We saw what was an absolute pin in game number 1. King was played to d1. Remember that knight cannot move. And if you just think of supporting the knight somehow by queen to f3 or something, well then after f5, the knight is lost because there's still king there. So there are a lot of important pieces on the e file. That's why white played the king to d1. Bishop to f5. Now you can calculate again. The piece is attacked twice and is defended once. And there is, I think, no way that knight can be defended now. So that was a correct sacrifice by black. So white decided, let me just give a check here. So pawn has to take here. Mind you, if you take with the queen here, you'll be very careless, because then queen takes e8. Luckily it's not mate, but white is winning here. Be very careful with this. Watch this, guys. Watch this. If you take the knight with the queen, then white will take the rook on e8. That's a very important calculation there. So you cannot take the knight with the queen. I'm sure that all of you will enjoy this calculation, even the juniors, by the way. Okay, Daksh is here with a changed DP. The display image has changed. Hello, Daksh. Welcome. Daksh is also a fairly regular member now. Okay, I was saying to all the members that queen takes f6 is not good because queen takes rook happens here. So you have to take with a pawn. And then white played queen to h5, attacking the bishop. There is always this idea of taking on f5. Bishop to b4. Well, the idea is very simple. If white goes ahead and takes this bishop, there will be checkmate, which I think is a pattern Omkar sir covered. So there is this threat of rook e1 checkmate. Did white stop that? Of course, yes. With knight f3. Well, now the square e1 is covered, and white is again threatening the bishop. Should I pause it here? Yes, I will pause it here. And I will give you, let's say, 3 minutes for this one. Calculated. 3 minutes should be enough for this one. But this time it is going to be white to play. This time it is going to be, no, sorry, black to play, right? Not white to play. 3 minutes. Black to play from this position. Think about the best continuation. Tell me if it is a forced checkmate or not. Tell me if it is a forced checkmate or not. Daksh always joins a little later. I think he has commitments. Daksh, are you a student? What do you do, dear? Okay. Vihang wants me to give the first move. Okay, Vihang, you want me to give you the first move? Okay, guys, the first move is queen takes d5 with that start. Work with that start. Guys, work with that start. I've given you the start. Queen takes d5 is the first move. Now calculate from there. Queen takes d5 check. What are the possibilities after that? Okay, last 10 seconds or under 10 seconds. Is it a forced checkmate sequence or no? The time is up. The question really is it a forced checkmate sequence or not? Well, Daksh said it's a forced checkmate sequence, and the point is Vihang wanted the first move. Well, Vihang, I gave you the first move. So, Pooja ma'am, King E8, really? How is King E8 possible? You're saying it's forced. So Soumitra says if bishop d2 or knight d2, bishop takes c2 check, picks up the queen. Yeah, that's a discovered threat. Yes, sure. Now that's what happened in the game. So the answer is that it is not a forced checkmate sequence. So that's a wrong answer. It's not a forced checkmate sequence. White does not get checkmated here. Queen takes d5 and white played bishop d3. So now you will tell me bishop d3, what's the next continuation here? He didn't play bishop d2. He did not play knight d2 for you to get this discovered idea. So now what? Now what? It's important, guys. Now what? Think about it. Let me know. Come on, now what? So what happens now, guys? He's played bishop to d3. He's brought this bishop to d3. Now what? Okay. Soumitra is saying that this was his first variation. Bishop takes d3. Yes, he did mention that. Absolutely. He did mention that. Well, okay. Bishop takes d3 happened. And there are two variations here. Well, first, if pawn takes bishop, if that happens, well, then there is simply queen takes h5. So that's a loss of queen. And if queen takes queen, if white is greedy enough, well then, well, what can you say about this mate? And now again I'm asking Saumitra, do you think that it is kind of a Borden's mate, this one, or do you still feel that this is also not Borden's mate? Knight G1. Jai wants to know whether it's Knight G1. Okay. So after bishop takes D3, what happens if there is Knight G1? Well, always Jai, remember that this is hanging, right? And also, well, if the knight goes back to G1, then there is checkmate. If the knight goes back, then there is, in fact, still bishop E2 is mate. Rook is also mate, the opera mate. But Jai, even bishop E2 is still mate. Mind you, the knight has no time to capture the bishop because it's a double check. Oh, this is interesting. That is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant finish. By the way, we are now going to, we're well over 1 hour now. We have definitely crossed an hour mark. I will extend this by another 20 minutes. I'll be here till 7:30. Okay. So those who want to play with me, they agreed that no tactics today. Play a game with us. So okay, fine. I'll have to log into Leeches, by the way. So it will be 3+2. Let's see if I get. By the way, there will be so many players in 20 minutes. How many games can I play? So is it better if I play 3+2 on Leeches? Let me know, guys. Let me know. If I play on Leeches with the same time control, 3+2. Because if I play with somebody, well, then the others will say we did not get a chance. So please let me know. So is it okay if I log into Leeches and I play a game here 3+2 with the 3+2 time control? Please let me know, guys. Let me log in first, okay? Okay, those who want to leave can, by the way, but I think that 7:30 we just have 15 minutes. Yeah, let's play a game. I'll play a game, not with you, but I will play a good game which is 3+2 or something like that. Let's play a game with this 2000 guy. This is nice. Is he available? No, he's not available, sorry. Well, this one is 5+3. Can we play 5+3? Yeah, let's play 5+3. Who has issued me a challenge? Vihang has issued a challenge. Let's go for a 3+2 game. Guys, we have got a game. It's 3+2. It's 3+2, so I will not probably talk a lot. He's not allowed that Danish gambit. Ooh, I could have taken here, I wonder. Could have taken there. I'm just trying to think of blunting the diagonal. This is nice. Too good. Let's push this and push this. Double attack here. I think we can defend it this way. Or this way. Let's defend it this way. More attack. Well, let's do this. I have knight b5, right? And I also have this pawn, right? I wonder, is that aggressive? Is that not aggressive? I wonder. Oh, he has taken there. My rook is protected. I'm not very unhappy about that. Certainly not very unhappy about that. I have a check here, right? What's up? Seriously? I have a check here. After he comes here, the knight is pinned, is it not? I'll take this for sure. The knight is pinned, by the way. This does not. This doesn't do anything much, right? Can do this. But even better, let's do this. My rook is protected. Oh no! Look at the trap there. Ooh, I should have not done bishop d2. I should have definitely played queen d2, and then too it was minus 4.3. So let's look at this game, guys. We were winning up until this stage. I went for this fork, which is a mistake according to the computer. He says that I should have brought this rook to c1. And then it was plus 1.9 from winning to losing in one move. Why was that so bad? First he thought that it's better to cover the c2 square and then go for this knight. But we're completely winning here, by the way. Let's see if that initial pawn advance was good. It was okay. Okay, even h3 was a little underestimating the opponent. One more, guys. We'll play one more. It's a good learning experience, by the way. But one more. We'll stick to Alakine. This is the Nimzo Indian defense. D5, C5. Quick exchanges on the central squares will be great. The same idea, guys. What's that? Bishop e7 maybe? Castle first up. Maybe then this. Maybe. Okay. I have this b2. Now I'm threatening everything everywhere. Attacking the queen. Question to the bishop. Do you want to take there? Doesn't want to take. Well, we want to take. Knight e4. Knight takes. This will be attacked twice. We don't really want that to happen. I'm not in a mood to part with my bishop so early, but still I think that's, given situation, that's okay. I'll have to take with the pawn. I don't want to take with the queen. This is good. So now I'm playing this. Okay. Interesting. Attacking the queen. Again the queen. Quick checkmate threat. As thought, that's what he would do. Good. Okay. Equal position here. Totally. Exchange, of course. Takes it that way. G6. By the way, you must notice that when I'm streaming, what happens, very important observation, what happens is that the time runs by due to lag. So I always am forced to, play something that is very fast, outright. Hmm, where should we go? G2, not this one. This one is good. I have this move, by the way. This doesn't scare me, does it? Yeah, this doesn't scare me. Whoa, 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 he took it that way. Again, the lag. Notice the lag. There's a lot of lag when I live stream and play 3+2 or bullets. It's always the case. I don't know why he did that. I have no idea why he did that. Juke swing. This is also lost, guys. Okay, I'll resign from here. The lag costs us a lot. Look at the time difference I get every time I stream and play. So we played 2 games and lost both. Great achievement. Great achievement. We will now stop. The reason I did not play with any one of you is because if I take a challenge from one player, then the other players will say, no, sir, you didn't play with us. But anyway, nonetheless, it's time for us to stop. Soumitra has forwarded the details regarding tomorrow's tournament. Omkar sir will be playing tomorrow. Remember, I'm planning something on Sunday, 3rd week from this month, but I'll fine tune it and let you know later. My plan is for Sunday evening, we'll keep it either for under 1200 or under 1400 students. That's the time when I play with those guys, with the under 1200 or with the under 1400, just for practice. Like with the seniors, I play every Tuesday. So for the moment, we will stop. And that's right, we slipped from 2000 to 1986. Yeah, that's a loss of almost 15 points there. 15 points. 15 points in 2 games. I will cover the 15 points later. Alright, no problem. We will meet tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is Friday, the tournament day. We will start 5 minutes in advance. 5 minutes in advance. So everybody properly be there. Sure, mentally ready. Because tomorrow is the big day when everybody plays. The big guns, the small guns, everybody's playing. And hopefully, Omkar sir also will try his best to win the tournament. So far, I don't think he's finished on the podium. Correct me if I'm wrong. Has Omkar sir finished on the podium? I think he played the first time. I think the first tournament when Omkar sir played, he finished on the podium. Am I right or wrong? Please let me know. Otherwise, he's not been on the podium. I wonder if you have kept a track record of that. I don't think he finished on the podium, but the very first time I think he did. So we will find that out. Everything sorted for tomorrow. Soumitra, thanks for forwarding the message. I will share that with Deep as well. Deep is, I think, in the group already. We'll meet tomorrow at 5:55.